This is a very sad story. A young woman, a mother of two in Columbus, Ohio, has just the other day, been shot and killed by undercover police. Apparently, they were pretending to be clients, and I guess they didn't tell her that they were police. And when they tried to put her in the unmarked car, which was just like, not a cop car, but vice cops use just like regular cars, like everyone else drives. You can't tell they're cop cars. And vice cop can look and act just like anyone, and they can pretend to be anyone they want. That's why screening is so important, because these people are very dangerous. These cops, they have guns and they'll use them on you. I know this for a fact from my own personal experience, because this reminds me of how close I myself came to being shot and killed by a vice cop. It happened about 15, 20 years ago. I lived in Los Angeles. I was renting an apartment. And back then, I didn't know what screening was. I was really stupid. I didn't know how to screen people at all. I never screened anybody. And I used to just make appointments with everybody and anybody who called me. And I made an appointment with the wrong person. He was an undercover cop. And, it's like, I myself wasn't sure. Like, when he came over and started getting aggressive with me and asking me questions and I wouldn't answer, I either thought two of one things. Either, yeah, this guy's just a really, like, a jerk, okay, like an asshole. Like, you're not supposed to ask these kinds of questions. Like, he was asking me what the money included, like what we were going to do. And I'm like, this is for my time. I'm like, I can't talk about stuff like this. And he got kind of agitated with me, and I just thought he was an asshole. I didn't know, he had a gun on him and he was planning on trying to shoot me. But that's exactly what happened next. Is when I turned my back towards him to open the door, because I was telling him, I wasn't going to see him. I changed my mind because he was acting too aggressively. I didn't say that to him. I just said that it wasn't going to work out, to just leave. And I never talked about the money, because even though I didn't know how to screen, I at least knew that you're not supposed to talk about money, and you're not supposed to talk about what you're going to do. I knew that much. So I turned around to open the door, and I heard freeze. Now, what if I was deaf? Okay. I think about this all the time. I actually have PTSD from this, post-traumatic stress disorder, because I often think over and over and over again, what if I didn't hear him? What if I was deaf? What if he didn't say freeze loud enough? What if for whatever reason I was distracted and didn't hear? What if there was another loud noise outside and I didn't hear him say that? What if? And, well, anyway, I did hear him say freeze, so I turned around and had a gun pointed at my face. And he looked like he wanted to shoot me really bad. Like, he was just like itching. His finger was just like itching to shoot me. He was right on the trigger, gun right at my face. Okay. That should be enough to give anyone PTSD. I didn't know if he was a cop. I didn't know. I thought maybe, what if he was just some guy going to rob me or something, or rape me? I didn't know. He still didn't have a badge out, nothing. He never said he was a cop, nothing. I didn't know he was a cop until all of a sudden, like 20 people come banging down the front door in my apartment, and there was like 20 cops in my house, like I'm some kind of huge criminal, like I'm some kind of bank robber or something, like, crazy. And I never robbed anyone in my life. It's all consensual. So, yeah, it does happen. Cops do shoot people. I actually read an article from like a few years back. A client was running from the cops because apparently they set up a sting in a hotel, and I guess he thought he didn't know. Again, people don't know these people are cops, and apparently he thought that he was getting robbed. So when he ran from them, they shot and killed him. And that happened just a few years ago. So it does happen. Both clients and workers both do get shot and killed by cops. when is this ever going to end? When are we ever going to be decriminalized? I'm pretty much given up hope, even though there's been many, many, I don't know, like bills introduced to decriminalize, and, Amnesty and all these human rights people and International AIDS International, they all are for decriminalization to help with, preventing disease and preventing abuse, and, and with and our human rights and everything. And it seems like no matter how much we yell, fight, scream, beg, plead, it's like a war on us. And it doesn't matter what we say, do, or what happens to us, because it's a war. It's a war on sex workers. And I've already come to that conclusion that in war, people do get killed, and in war, it's ugly, and yeah, and it's just going to keep on going and going and going, because we don't even live in a true democracy. If we lived in a true democracy, pot would be legal everywhere, both federally in every state, because the majority of the people say yeah. 80% of people say yeah, it should be decriminalized, and no, people should not be put in cages, arrested for pot. It's no worse than cigarettes or alcohol, really. It's probably not even as bad, really. I don't smoke, but I used to. But that's another video. Anyway, yeah, just Google. I do this all the time. I'm always Googling things like petition to decriminalize sex work. If you really care, it's at least something you can do. And maybe it's not going to help, because again, it's a war on us. There is a war out on us to kill us. And, but maybe, just maybe, if just one little state could do it, it would be like a small achievement, like a little foot, a little finger in the door. And then just maybe it'll grow from that. But otherwise, it'll never happen, because there's too much money to be made in this narrative they've created, this trafficking narrative, this narrative. There's too much money involved with this, because there's too many people donating to different organizations because of all the propaganda they've created over it, and to conflate us with something that we are not. It just keeps the war building and growing more and more and more. And the more they can do that, the more money and donations these NGOs get, and the more they can do it, because they're making money off of the death of sex workers, because it's a war. Okay, so yeah, I'm not over exaggerating. It really is happening. People are getting shot and killed. Take care.